Welcome to Clydesdale Media. Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available.
Well, hello again. We are here with the Wild Nutritionist again. Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent, man. I just had some you ever eat raw smoked salmon before? Like just from the pack?
No, like the ones you get at Costco?
All the
Dude,
time.
it's unbelievable. Like it'll change your whole world. Like you'll be like, "Wow, protein goal? Pfft, no problem."
Easy.
So I just had some of that and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling satiated and ready to go. So
Good. I have to add that to my blueprint of things that on my list here. So good. Perfect. So that's a great way to kind of get started here. As you can all see and hear, it's we're here with the Wild Nutritionist, Kat and I, on the microphone this afternoon. Kat, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm home. So we never know who's going to show up or walk by or bark. It'll be interesting. I got my finger on the mute button.
Yeah, if the puppies make an appearance, it is what it is.
They will for sure.
Speaking of which, as some of you may or may not know, Justin's dog should be getting a job here at some point. Is that still not working? Is it working? How's the applications going?
you know they're working on it. I mean, they're submitting applications every day, and I told them in January, I said, this is the year you're getting a job. You can't just sit around here and mooch off of all of the hard work that I'm doing. So we'll see, but nothing yet. Nobody wants to hire them. So
That's it's what we're doing. We're big dog people here, so
absolutely.
So yeah, kind of wanted to, bring you back on as we have. You're doing great work with you. I'm working with Taylor on some of my nutrition, and now that I've had my surgery, I'm feeling great, and I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of nutrition that I'm getting. I was surprised by, some of the things Taylor and I had talked about on not backing off too much of the protein and keeping kind of where we were, even though it wasn't working out. So speak to that a little bit if you can.
Definitely. So yeah, when we're recovering from a surgery, an injury, where our first thought is, oh, I need to lower my calories. I'm not working out that hard. You know what I mean? That's kind of that first, like, oh man, that's what I need to do. Maybe I can even lose some body fat. And the reality is that it's the exact opposite. Your body actually needs to be in maintenance or a slight surplus to be able to recover from your surgery or your injury or whatever appropriately, right? And getting in enough quality sources of protein allows for that to happen. So not only do we need enough protein, we need to make sure we're not in a calorie deficit substantially, because that's just only going to make that recovery time longer for you to get back into the gym and be full force so that you can eventually lose the body fat that you want, right? So don't delay yourself by thinking, hey, I need to lower my calories. I'm not working out as intensely, or you actually want to make sure you have adequate levels of caloric intake, protein, all of the stuff that you kind of mentioned, as opposed to the reverse where you're underfeeding yourself, and it makes sense, like you don't want to be under eating when you're trying to recover from something like that, and so that's why, on your blueprints, those calories that you're eating are reflective of those goals at this time frame.
Yeah.
That's
so
counterintuitive too, though. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I've never really thought about it in that way. I know for like normal recovery days, right? I'm not a big fan of like upping calories, lowering calories, and messing around with them depending on your activity levels and things like that. But that's super interesting that when you're recovering from surgery, you've got a lot of work to do that your body needs to do. It's not external, right? It's not, you're not on the echo bike or, running around the building or lifting weights. It's all internal, but you still need all that fuel to make that happen. That's a great point. I hadn't really thought about
Yeah. Yeah, it is counterintuitive. And I think that it's the same, like kind of what you mentioned for your off days versus your on days, as long as your total calories are equated throughout the week and put you at a maintenance, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could have more calories on a lot of my athletes, they have trouble, like a lot of my games athletes I work with, they have trouble eating a lot on their
rest days.
on days, so they eat more on their rest days because they're training all day.
Sure.
So
Right.
it's like,
It's
okay.
a time thing.
Right, exactly. So it's like, oh, there's not enough time. So they eat more on their off days than they do their workout days. You know, ideally, like we want to make sure we have enough fuel always, so we make sure that that's the case. Other than that, yeah, like if your calories are at maintenance or surplus or deficit, whatever you want it to be, as long as it's equated throughout the entire week, that's what's important. And most of the time, why people just try to stay even keel with the total number of calories on a daily basis, because it's easy. You could stay more consistent, and this is what we want to see from people, versus, oh, if it changed to that, and then you change it, and you're like,
I've been on other plans where it's like, are you working out in the morning or are you working out at night? Are you doing a heavy day or are you doing a light day? And it's like you have to make all these assessments and make all these decisions before you're even thinking about what you're eating, and then before long you're just like exhausted mentally.
Exactly. And so with our blueprints, what happens is that's what we do. We're like, okay, you work out at this time, great. That's when you have your protein shake. We know we need another 3 meals and a snack, and we organize that in a way that makes sense for your lifestyle. It's that simple. Oh, you're working out later. Okay, just make sure you have your post-workout protein shake then, and then you still have 3 meals and 1 snack. And we organize in our blueprints how to make that work for people. You don't need to change a bunch on a daily basis. Right. That's setting you up to fail. It's too many changes.
Absolutely. And that kind of takes me into, one thing I've noticed is that I haven't been working out, but still eating. My scale hasn't gone crazy. So speak a little bit to the point of why the scale is important, is not important. How do you guys, what's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, look, just like a lot of things out there, the scale is a tool. So we want to utilize it when possible as a tool to understand fluctuations and things that are actually occurring. But it's meant to be used as a tool for following trends and patterns, not on a single entity n equals 1 sort of time frame, right? So one scale weight is not going to be indicative of the lack of progress or making progress or anything in between. It's the trend of the scale that actually gives people an understanding of if they're moving in the right direction or not, right? And the reason for this is that there are multiple ways why the scale can change on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis that isn't attributable to fat loss or muscle gain, which is what immediately goes to somebody's mind when they step on a scale. Okay, it's down. I lost body fat. Maybe. Oh, it's up. I must have gained body fat. Probably not. Right. So like, what is it? And what are these other indicators? So look, of course, if you're gaining weight consistently over time, that can be an understanding of, hey, I'm gaining body fat or I'm gaining muscle mass. Right. If you're losing and trending weight downwards over time, that can be an indication of losing body fat or losing muscle mass. That's actually metabolic tissue, and that takes time and more than 1 week to understand. But fluctuations day to day, or even just comparing 2 weeks, there can be drastic changes, right? And so a lot of that has to do with, for example, holding on to water weight and inflammation. And there are so many different, just imagine just like water weight inflammation in the beginning, like in the center, and then all these things that can cause water weight and inflammation just like going off. That's kind of what it's like, right? So like for women specifically, when they're ovulating, their weight is typically up because they're holding on to more water. When they're fixing to start their period, this is also a time frame where this is the case. Some women will be 4 to 6 pounds higher at this time frame, and this is why it's important for women to understand that when that time of the month is coming, and to be able to track things regularly as much as possible, so that when you step on a scale, you don't freak out, and you're still using it as that tool that we know it is,
And you can tell, I mean, for me, I can tell if I'm gaining weight or losing weight because of, hormonal changes or, things in my cycle and things like that. My clothes don't necessarily fit any differently, right? It's not like my body shape or composition is really changing. It's just a matter of what's on the scale, which is, I'm assuming you're going to say something about like trying on clothes or taking pictures and, visually looking at yourself as sort of other or maybe even better benchmarks of success, than maybe what the number on the scale is.
Yeah, I think those are both better benchmarks because that is more of how when people sign up for our program, they're looking to work with us or anybody. It's more, do you feel comfortable? And that has to do with the way your clothes are fitting,
Right.
not with the scale,
Yep.
It's more of how do you feel comfort wise. And that's usually with how the clothes that you own currently fit you. Right. And then also the confidence. Oh, I want to feel more confident. That's how you look.
Right.
Also not the scale. That's like when you look in the mirror or when you take those pictures or when you step into your CrossFit gym. Do you feel confident in yourself? Do you feel like, man, I look strong. I look like I CrossFit. Right. Yep. Not your DEXA scan. You're not going to be like, yo, Kat, check out my DEXA scan. Nobody cares.
Right. I've often said to people, like, let's assume, pick the pair of jeans that you haven't been able to wear in 2 years because they're too tight. If you could get into those jeans and look amazing in those jeans, but your weight was 10 pounds heavier than it is now, how would you feel? Like, and I try to get into their head because some people aren't okay with that, and they have to realize that that's sort of, what are your goals, right? Is it a number on the scale or is it like fitting in or feeling confident in a pair of jeans or whatever it is?
100%. Me and Chandler Smith weigh the same. Do I need to say anything? I don't need to say anything else.
He's jealous of you, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, he just, that's just it. But yeah. So like, I don't need to say much else. That's just the way it goes.
That's just it.
And Damon John is jealous of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you got your twins, he's like, man, I wish I could be like him. I wish I could be like that guy.
I know he does.
So Justin, I know you've talked about this before, but let's refresh everybody's memory about sort of the methods and apps that you use to keep people tracking and whatnot.
Yeah, the apps, none. Actually, we encourage people to delete some apps off their phone. We got too many, right? So the app also, like the scale, is a tool. It's a temporary way to help us understand how to reach our goal, right? And that's what usually is utilized with tracking macros, right? So that's what people do. It's understanding their intake. And so we believe that macros is a critical tool in somebody's journey, but it's not something that's sustainable long-term, right? You're not going to be 65 like, oh, how much fat do I have left? Like that's not going to happen. Yeah, hopefully not, right? And tracking's kind of like high school. You make some friends, it's cool, you learn some stuff, but high school ain't real life. Like we got to move on, And so what we do is we help people harness those skills that they've acquired tracking and help them understand their intake without having to track every single gram of food and still reach their goals, right? So that's what we focus on here at CBG. And me as the WOD nutritionist and my team work with, CrossFitters around the world, lose body fat, building muscle, helping them crush the open and feel more confident in themselves without tracking macros, right? So what we utilize instead is we build out blueprints for people based on their lifestyle that help them understand the portion sizes of food that they need to eat to be successful. And at most, you'll be doing second grade math, and everybody can do that. Charlie's he's getting there.
I'm getting there.
We're teaching
there's no worry about. There's nothing to worry about in terms of like, is it cooked meat? Is it uncooked meat? Is it, cooked rice, uncooked rice, like all that kind of stuff. You just take the guesswork out of all that.
Yeah, it's really, whatever is easiest for you. You prefer cooked versus uncooked or this or that. Whatever's easiest for you to understand what the portion side needs to be is fine. Yeah. You having something cooked versus uncooked is not the reason you're not reaching your goals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not why. Right. We all know that. We like to think that that's it because it's an easy cop out for us. And so if you're 5 grams off or even 20 to 50 grams off your macros, it's probably not on a daily basis what's really, unless it's fat. 50 grams of fat is a decent amount of calories, right? But like, it's usually not the reason, right? The reason is more of the behavior side of what we're doing and things like that. So as we can make the portion size component as simple as possible to get a calorie range through that, as opposed to tracking every gram of food, that's what we want to focus on. Because when we make things simple for people, they stick to it. And when you stick to something consistently, boom, you're done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got a comment here.
Kat, I love this. I've tried to show my friends and family all of this. Took me 2 years of training with nutrition, working out, and mental health to lose 60 pounds of baby fat. There's no fast way. Yep.
100%. Slow is fast. Slow is fast. We're actually, we have a lot of clients that we're working with right now that they're focused on building their relationship with food, and the relationship with their body and with the scale, all these things. These things have to be at the platform of the lifestyle that you want to live. You can't say, hey, I want to build a lifestyle around fat loss, but have a poor relationship with food, poor relationship with the scale, poor relationship with your body. The people that do that, they're like, I'm focused on fat loss, and they go for it. These are the people that you see that just put the weight back on because they don't have a good relationship with food, their body, the scale, and the other surrounding environments that they have, And Kat, that example you gave earlier with the jeans, that's getting the client to visualize that there's a new identity out there for them, right? And when we create that new identity for ourselves, that's when we're most likely to be successful. And then when we have that new identity, we harness it, and that would allow people. You can't think that you're 180 pounds once you've already gotten to 160. If you still think you're that 180 pound person, you're going to go back to being that 180 pound person. So you have to create that new identity. A really great way to do that is like, no, these are my genes. Like, these are the genes that I fit in now, and this is the new me, right? And so you put a supporting environment around you to stay at that maintenance level. You know what I mean?
And it helps you to behave like that person. You want to behave
100%.
like that person that, it looks like that or fits in those genes. Yeah.
And the actions follow, and then that's it. That's the lifestyle, right? So yeah, I'm glad that it was Kat. Who was it that mentioned that comment?
That was Kat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kat. Yeah, so that's great. I'm glad that you mentioned that. And congratulations on the 60-pound loss. That's incredible.
It's legit. She works really hard too. She works out all the time.
Yep, that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Consistent.
The scale also, there are some other reasons that we can see it fluctuate pretty readily. I want to make sure everybody has a good understanding of this. So we just got through the open, very stressful environment for a lot of people, right? Even though we're not like going to the CrossFit games, like we still took it seriously, and we wanted to do our best. That's very stressful, and stress can cause, it's a response from your body. Oh, I'm going to hold on to some water and this and that to protect yourself from the stress and from this. And lack of sleep can cause the weight to be up. Stressing about certain things can cause the weight to be up, right? And so some of those things, being super sore from the open in a workout or a competition that you just did on the weekend, you weigh in Monday, you're like, oh, what happened? I just did all this working out and I didn't lose weight. Your body's sore. It's trying to protect itself, And so all of these are things. You might have a sensitivity to a food or an intolerance, and you had a little bit of it. You went out to eat. You had a food you're not used to. You don't have the enzymes ready to go to really process it correctly. Your body's holding on to some extra water weight. If you just started creatine, gut content elimination. I mean, all of these things are reasons why people may find themselves heavier than a couple days before when they weighed in. So it's good to highlight some of these things and think, okay, why might the scale be up? Because I've been consistent. I've been hitting my protein goal. What's going on here? These are maybe some reasons, right? So I just wanted to highlight that for some people also, because there's so many factors.
That term gut content elimination makes me cringe right now, just so you know.
Yeah. It's so a lot of us have like depending on how much fiber we eat, right? We can maintain a lot because fiber is a carbohydrate that's not processed regularly by the body, And so we may find that we're holding more food in the stomach, especially high fiber based foods, right? And therefore we had that meal the night before, we weigh in, this is what happens, right?
Yeah.
And so this could cause the scale to be up as well, right? So many reasons.
That's a great segue actually into, we're all CrossFitters or of some sort or work out in some fashion, and the open has just been over with. So you can either kind of go two directions here. You could go, okay, and now I'm going to try to do get myself together for next year, but maybe I'll start in January, or I'll just stop. Take a break, and I won't do anything today until who knows when. So, what are some of the things you're telling your folks? And we'll talk about your Facebook site here in a second, but some of the things that you're doing or suggesting coming out of the Open, whether you performed great and go into quarters, or you didn't have as great a performance that you wanted to.
Right. Yeah. So look, for the quarters people, right? You're still making sure that you're eating good quantities of food. You're upping your carb before quarterfinals, 40 to 60 grams, typically 30 to 50 for women, 40 to 60, 70 for men. Every single day, you're upping your carbohydrates, right? You're sort of preloading in a way for what seems to be, I don't know how many, the workouts aren't released, but how many workouts do they? 5, right? 5 workouts you're going to be doing in a span of 3 days. Your body's going to need it, right? And so what we need to do is we need to make sure we have enough carbohydrates for that. So we're upping that. Pre-workout. So like, Friday when you're doing the workouts, you're going to want to make sure, or whatever you're doing, right? You want to make sure that you preload another 30 to 50 for women, 40 to 60 grams of carbohydrates for men, fast digesting carbohydrates, nothing slow digesting. And then making sure that you're not missing any meals throughout the entire weekend. That's important, right? So that's your focus. In terms of people that, didn't make the cut, right? That's a lot of us. Look, if you want to take the week to just decompress and not focus specifically on this amount and this and that, no problem. But eventually, this is a lifestyle, right? This is not something we just take off and just get back to when we feel like it. You're going to have to eat, and time continues to go on, right? So what's best for you is to just actually start implementing one meal at a time of good quality, nutrition, nutrient-dense based foods with high enough protein and enough vegetables, and getting in the micronutrients that your body needs to recover optimally. From there, you got a lot of directions you could go. Some people are looking to focus on fat loss this year. That's great. Some people are looking to get stronger and build muscle. Also great. And some people want to focus solely on the performance side, and their bodies will go whatever direction that it will go as a result of just focusing on performance. For some people, that's getting leaner. For some people, that's getting stronger and putting on muscle mass. There are a lot of different directions you can go after, now that the Open is is concluded, for a lot of us, right? Figure out what that needs to be for you and implement it and execute on it. Don't do this like, I'm kind of going to stick my toes in a pool and see if this is good. That's not going to work. That's some 50-50 stuff. That's not going to work. You can make mistakes with your nutrition along the way. It's no problem. But you can't be 50-50 on your effort trying to implement new habits into your life. You actually have to go for it, And so, if you don't want to be coddled, you can come over to CBG. Well, that's just not the game that we play. If you want to get some results and do it, and the Open's got you fired up and you're like, man, I see more potential in myself. I'm working out 4 to 5 times per week, but I don't look like it. I got to do something about this. Then, shoot me a DM. We'll do it.
Mm-hmm. And then, so you have the Facebook group. We'll put that in the chat here later. But what are some of the things that you're putting on there? Because I feel like you're putting all the information out for free. So what do we?
Just look, if you want to go on your own and do it, we got you. The Facebook group is entirely free, so everybody can join. You're free to access all of the information on there. I do live videos every single week. I do early podcast release through the Facebook group as well, so you get first dibs on the podcast, right? 2 weeks before everybody else. And then we give away a bunch of free guides on there. We run little mini challenges, couple-day challenges for people to improve on some of the habits that they want to build. We do it all on there, right? So whether you have goals of fat loss, building muscle, you want to, do better at the Open next year, or for a CrossFit competition you have coming up, we have free guides on all that stuff. Alcohol, getting on track during the weekends. We give away free guides like that all throughout that Facebook group. And it's a great way for you to interact with my team. We also do some giveaways and things like that. We just gave away 3 pairs of Nobles on there. So come on, it's free.
I must have missed that one.
Do you have a Crumble cookie assistance program?
Maybe we should give away some crumble cookies.
I think you should help us to not eat so many of them.
I think, yeah, someone on here has a problem with crumble cookies, and there you go.
I live with kids though, so you know.
Yeah, that's who wants it.
Yeah.
It's the kids that's the problem.
My TikTok followers have requests. I have to review the cookies every week. It's just it's a labor of love.
That's what we do for the people.
Just a small bite.
We don't have a TikTok. But is your TikTok popping? Should I check it out? And
I mean, it's not popping, but sure, you can check it out.
If you want to see people eating crumble cookies,
you want to watch me eat crumble cookies and show my daughter rating 70s heartthrobs and trying funny filters. Sure, it's great.
Nice. No, that's the kind of content I like.
There you go.
Perfect.
So what's the best way people can get hold of you?
Yeah, you can DM us on CBG_online nutrition, right? So CBG_online_ nutrition. This is on IG. If you join the free Facebook group, I'm there. Literally, I'm interacting with my personal Facebook profile. So you're welcome to DM me there or comment on any of the stuff in terms of if you want some free guides from me and my team. We also have a website, consistencybreedsgrowth@gmail.com. You can directly book a call through the website to chat with somebody from my team or myself. And yeah, those are really the best ways that you can reach us. We're very, very responsive on my personal profile, my Facebook group, as well as on the Instagram. So that's the fastest way to get to us for sure.
Perfect. Appreciate you having us on, or having you on. I don't get to host these very much, so we're all over the place. But,
we're all just hanging
out. So next time we'll definitely check back in with you here in a couple of weeks or so. We'll talk about again where I'm going and how one of your coaches, Taylor, is trying to kill me. I think, but it's fine. We'll get over it. I think it's that Louisiana thing that's got me.
Nobody said it was easy. So
no one said it was easy.
Yeah.
It didn't work for it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, that's why the accountability is so necessary for people. They think it's easier than what it is, and yeah, so we got you. But if I think I'm happy to come on. You guys just let me know what we want to chat about. And maybe you guys on the channel have a couple topics you want for me to cover. Happy to go through whatever. So just let me know.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot. Peace out.
Thank you.